Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. I am so excited because it is time to put together my 2026 recommendations cart. You all have responded to the call out that I did during Vlogmas to give me a recommendation from my owned TBR shelves on Goodreads. And I have created the new spreadsheet for 2026. And now I need to put the cart together. So I've never done this way before. I've always just had a video where I showed you what's on the cart, and I will do that by the end of this video. But I thought it would be fun to start at the beginning, not the very beginning, because I did already clear the books from the bottom 2 layers of this cart. I need to clear the top. Let me turn it around and show you what we're dealing with. Here's my setup whenever I do lives or when I'm filming. I have my cart here and my computer sits on top of it. I have already cleared out the books from the bottom 2 shelves. Also, obviously, it has already become a bit of a dumping ground. So I need to clear out these things, clear out the rest of these books, and then we're going to take a look at my spreadsheet, and I'm going to start collecting books to add back to the cart. Okay, the cart is totally empty. You can't see it, but it's totally empty. And I am just going to start going through alphabetically and putting stuff here. I'm debating this year doing it alphabetically or if I want to organize it differently somehow. We're going to walk through that together, but I'm just going to go through a little time lapse here and start putting books, grabbing books from my very crowded shelves and putting them here. All of my Christian fiction are going to live up on a different shelf. All of my series are going to live somewhere different, but everything else is going in the cart. Let's go. My cart is full to bursting. Like, I can't fit them all. So I've got to figure out a few other places to put things. I already have put my Christian fiction recommendations right here. So let's go through these very quickly. We have A Cry from the Dust by Carrie Stewart Parks, Every Hour Until Then by Gabriel Meyer, Her Mother's Hope by Francine Rivers, If I Were You by Lynn Austin, The Illusionist's Apprentice by Christy Cambron, Lady Jane Disappears by Joanna Davidson Politano, Lady Maybe by Julie Klassen, The Legend of Sheba by Tosca Lee, A Lineage of Grace by Francine Rivers, Murder at the Flamingo by Rachel Macmillan, The Wedding Chapel by Rachel Hauk, A Name Unknown by Rosanna M. White, Of Golden Shadows by Michelle Greep, The Ringmaster's Wife by Christy Cambron, The Roads We Follow by Nicole Deese, To Wager Her Heart by Tamara Alexander, The Vanishing at Castle Moreau by Jamie Jo Wright, The Wedding Dress by Rachel Hauk, and Wishtress by Nadine Brandes. So that is my Christian fiction section. I did also refigure my books so they look much better. They were all sorts of everywhere, but now they're back to alphabetized, looking good. I love it. We got to take care of this cart though. Yikes. Okay, the next selection of books that I put elsewhere are my book of the month. So here are my 3 book of the month shelves. I condensed the ones that were not recommended to these 2. And up here are the ones that were recommended. So we have The Wedding Dress Sewing Circle by Jennifer Ryan, The Storm We Made by Vanessa Chan, The Spectacular by Fiona Davis, The River We Remember by William Kent Kruger, A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, The Love Haters by Catherine Center, Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher, and The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. So these ones will live at the top of my book of the month shelf. Looking nice right there. But we still have quite a mess, and now I have piles. So I'm going to pull out any that are in a series that I've started. Not new series, but series that I've started. See how that gets it down a little further. I should be sitting the other way around so that my background is my bookshelves, but this is where I'm sitting at the moment. So we're just going to keep rolling with it. So I have 4 books I can pull off because they're already on my January TBR. Marmee by Sarah Miller. The Correspondent by Virginia Evans is my Patreon book club book for the month. Kate and Frida, it's an epistolary novel by Kim Fay. And Romanoff by Nadine Brandis is on my self-destruct list, but also my January TBR. So these 4 are going to live on my spinning cart and not on the rec cart. But also, I've started today reading The Little Prince, and Letters from Sky is another epistolary novel, and I'm putting them all on my spinning cart. So those 2 are going over there. And I thought I would just add The Mousetrap to my cart, to my spinning shelf, because this is Super Short by Agatha Christie. It doesn't make much room on my cart, but it's a perfect read for Shorty. I forget what the name of their readathon is. It's a play. It should be pretty quick. I've never read it. I've seen it, but I've never read it. So I'm going to put that on my spinning cart as well. The Mountains Between Us by Charles Martin is a self-destruct book. So I'm going to put that on the spinning cart with the rest of my self-destruct books. I don't have a lot of series that I'm in the middle of this year that are on the cart. I mean, I have the Sanderson ones, those 2. So I think I'm just going to start doing my best to put this cart together. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I always put hardcovers on the top as much as I can, but I have way more hardcovers than can fit on the top. And then I usually alphabetize. We'll see if that's how I do it, but I will come back on and show you the finished product in just a minute. All right, I figured it out. And I have a little room. I like keeping my jar of pens and scissors and a candle lighter in here. So I have a free spot for that. I have a few more that are going elsewhere. So The Crucible is also Super Short, a play by Arthur Miller. That's going on my January pile of possibilities. And I have 3 that live on my Christmas book exchange cart. So we have Coal River by Ellen Marie Wiseman, The Royal Secret by Lucinda Riley, and The Lost and Found Bookshop by Susan Wiggs. So those 3 are going back on my Christmas book exchange cart. And here we go. I have 2 that I cannot find. The Fix Up, which I just received for Christmas from Sarah somewhere. I think I thought I would read it at work or something, so it's somewhere else at the moment. And The Awakening by Kate Chopin, which is also super short, but I have no idea where it is. So we're going to start with this hardback pile. The alphabetization on this section has gone. I wanted to move books that were on the cart last year, the ones that I looked at all year long, I put on the back side. So mostly this section right here is new for 2026. So we've got Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, The Poppy Fields by Nikki Ehrlich, The Names by Florence Knapp, Mrs. Quinn's Rise to Fame by Olivia Ford, Borrowed Life of Frederick Fife by Anna Johnston, The Book of Lost Friends by Lisa Wingate, The Story She Left Behind by Patty Callahan Henry, Symphony of Secrets by Brendan Slocum, The Stolen Life of Colette Marceau by Kristen Harmel, The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dare, The Otherwhere Post by Emily J. Taylor, pretty cover, and The Whalebone Theater by Julia Quinn. Let's do the rest of the top. We'll go top to bottom. These 4 were ones that I looked at all year and never picked up. So Heard It in a Love Song by Tracy Garvis Graves. The Mountains Sing by Nguyen Pham Ke Mai. The Henna Artist by Elka Joshi, and Whistling Past the Graveyard by Susan Crandall. This is actually a Christmas book exchange book, but I have room for it. It's going to stay up here. Then I put in the middle the 3 Mitch Albom books that are on my cart this year. So we've got The Magic Strings of Frankie Presto, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, and Tuesdays with Maury. This is going to be the year where I read some Mitch Albom. It has to be, right? It has to be. Let's do these real quick first. Then on this side, I have Homecoming by Kate Morton, The House of Eve by Sadiqa Johnson, The Flight Girls by Noelle Salazar, which is paperback, but it's oversized. It fits better up top. And Castle of Water by Dane Hucklebridge, which is also a Christmas book exchange book, but it's going up here. So that is the top row. Now we move down, and I did things a little differently this year. So we're going to flip it back around here. On this shelf here, where I'm leaving room to put a little jar of pens and tchotchke stuff, I have, first of all, my 2 Brandon Sanderson that I'm in the middle of this series, Warbreaker and Starsight. So those 2 are going to live right here. Those are the only 2 series on the cart that are not new starts of series. Then here I have books that I'm the most excited to read, and also books that were this How the Penguin Saved Veronica is one of the most highly recommended books on the cart, which we'll get to that at the end. I'll tell you the few that were the most recommended. So we have How the Penguin Saved Veronica by Hazel Pryor. This is very wintry. I'm hoping to get to it early this year. I also really would like to read more from Claire Pooley. I have Iona Iverson's Rules for Commuting. I really enjoyed the Authenticity Project by her. This Freya Sampson book, The Last Chance Library, is the last one I need to read her to 0. So I definitely want to get to that. The Long March Home, I've heard nothing but good about, especially from one of my patrons, Debbie. She has been raving about this one. This is by Tosca Lee and Marcus Brotherton, set in World War II, but in the Philippines, I believe. Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. Just really excited to read more T. Kingfisher. The Lies They Told, Ellen Marie New Wiseman's book from last year. I really want to read that one. The Things We Keep by Sally Hepworth. Keisha puts this on my cart almost every year. Maybe this is the year I finally get to it. I'm very excited for it. And then When the Cranes Fly South by Lisa Ridson, another release from last year that a lot of people were loving, and I know I will love as well. So those are kind of like the ones that I'm most excited for, and will try to get on TBRs if I possibly can. And that's where I'll go first to look to pick new books when I have a little bit of room in my reading. And then maybe I can kind of refill that as the year goes on. So down in this corner, which you can't see, but I have them here, I have a bunch of murder mysteries, 2 Agatha Christie's, and then 4 more that would start a series. So the 2 Agatha Christie's that you guys recommended this year are 450 from Paddington and Evil Under the Sun. Then I have A Murder for the Books by Virginia Gilbert, and I think this takes place in the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is relatively near me. Murder and Postscript by Mary Winters. That looks like so much fun. The Quiche of Death, which is the first Agatha Raisin mystery by M.C. Beaton. And Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. I really, really, really want to get to Anthony Horowitz this year. I almost think I'll put him up here, because I just really want to read him and see, because I have 4 or 5 books of his on my shelf. Then we go to alphabetical. So we're going to flip it back around. The rest of these are just alphabetical. I just put them on the back side, so to mix it up a little bit. So instead of looking at the start of the alphabet, I'll be looking at the end of the alphabet, which I don't always do. The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of a Window and Disappeared by Jonas Jonason. A Bridge Across the Ocean by Susan Meissner. And The Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini. Astrid and Veronica by Linda Olson. City Baker's Guide to Country Living by Louise Miller. Is this a Christmas book? It's got the red truck with a tree in the back. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to save that. The Coincidence of Coconut Cake by Amy E. Reichert. Cottingley Secret by Hazel Gaynor, another author I would like to read to 0. The Curious Charms of Arthur Pepper by Phaedra Patrick. The Dollhouse by Fiona Davis. Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies by Catherine Mack. Finding Dorothy by Elizabeth Letts. Ginny Moon by Benjamin Ludwig. The Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hesse. This has been on my cart for many, many years. I need to get to that one. And The Girls in the Stilt House by Kelly Mustian. Another one that's a cart veteran. How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. All right, down on the bottom, which you can't see, and I'm not going to adjust things, but I'm going to show them to you. Indigo Girl by Natasha Boyd. The Last Party by Claire McIntosh. I said that funny. The Lies of Lamora by Scott Lynch. The Light in Hidden Places by Sharon Cameron. Making Faces by Amy Harmon. The Memory Library by Kate Story. Miss Benson's Beetle, another cart veteran, by Rachel Joyce. The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce. Passengers by John Marr, a bit of a sci-fi thriller. The Annotated Persuasion by Jane Austen. I would love to get to that this year. The Plum Tree by Ellen Marie Wiseman, another author to read to zero, if I can. The Red Address Book by Sophia Lundberg. The Rosemary Spell by Virginia Zimmerman, and this may be a middle grade that snuck onto my adult shelf on Goodreads. I'm pretty sure this is a middle grade. That's okay. One little sneaky middle grade in there, doesn't matter. September by Rosamund Pilcher, and that ends this side. Then we go to the bottom on the other side for the final few books. We have two Susanna Kearsley, Season of Storms and The Shadowy Horses. They Went Left by Monica Hesse. The Weight of Silence by Heather Gutenkopf. The Winter Orphans by Kristen Beck. Finally, The Lost Girls of Paris by Pam Jenoff, which doesn't fit alphabetically by title, but it's tall and I needed a spot where I had a little space, and it fits on the bottom. So I'm very excited. I'm particularly excited about switching up this row and this row of hardcovers. I think that it's going to help me to look at different books and see different books right in front of my face. But let's take a minute to look at what are the most recommended books. So one of the reasons I love doing a spreadsheet is that I get to arrange the books in different ways and filter the columns in different ways so that I can see what books were the most recommended. For sure, this year, The Correspondent and Remarkably Bright Creatures both had 9 people that recommended them. So Remarkably Bright Creatures is right on the top here for me to see, and The Correspondent is on my January TBR. Both will get read pretty soon. How the Penguin Saved Veronica had 7 recommendations, and right behind it, 6 people wanted me to read The Magpie Murders, which is awesome. Tuesdays with Morrie is on the backside. That is one of the Mitch Albom books. 4 of you wanted that one. And 4 people also wanted The Names by Florence Knapp. And then we had 3 people for the Book of Lost Friends, 3 people for Symphony of Secrets, and the rest were all 2 and 1. As far as the highest rated, I like to look at that too. It's kind of fun. Every Hour Till Then is on my Christian fiction shelf. That's book 5 in the series. I'm definitely going to get to that. That's the highest rated with a 4.67. And right behind it with a 4.57 is The Correspondent. And then with a 4.55, Long March Home, which is right here by Toscali and Mark somebody. The Light in Hidden Places is 4.52. That's pretty high too. So that's really fun. The final task in regards to this cart, the final thing that I would love for you to do is head back over to Goodreads. I will put the link in the description below and up in the cards, maybe that side, and up in the cards, so that because I've created a list with 100 of these books on there. All in all, I received 117 recommendations this year, which is a little smaller than last year, but I'm totally fine with that. Hopefully my percentage can be a little higher because there are fewer to choose from. So I've created a list on Goodreads with 100 of these options. I left out the lowest rated ones and ones that were already on my January TBR. I think I left those out, but everything else should be on there. You could go and vote for it. And I like to look at that here and there too, to see, because the fun thing about the Goodreads list is that you can vote for as many books as you want to. You're not restricted to just the one request like I asked when I was building the cart. So you can vote for as many as you want to. Go ahead to that link, have some fun picking which ones you think I should read more than others. So if you have any of these on your shelves at home, maybe you want to pick it for that reason, ones that you think I'm going to like, I don't know. I enjoyed putting this cart together. Every year it's a highlight of mine to put this together. Now my computer has a nice place to live when I do lives and when I'm working and filming and everything. So that can go right there. And that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much to everybody who recommended books for me this year. I'm so excited to get to as many of these as I possibly can. And that's going to be it for me today. Let's chat down in the comments. Go ahead over to Goodreads to vote for as many books as you want from this list. And I will talk to you in another video very soon. Bye.